are you and what are you doing?
I'm Simon Hastings and I'm running 141 kilometres for my oldest friend Tom. Tom and I met in play school and then went to different primary schools and then started secondary school in year 7 and met this guy Tom. Our mums did know each other and reminded us that we'd met before, and that's pretty indicative of our whole friendship really. Tom was always amazing at keeping in touch and keeping that thread of the friendship running. At one point I think it was 9 years that we went without seeing each other, but regardless of that, it was Tom stood next to me on my wedding day, and that was just a sign of how he did such an incredible job of maintaining our friendship over the years. So this challenge came about because Tom died in Brighton, and he took his own life because of the things that he was struggling with, and when it all reached that crescendo, or in the weeks leading up to it reaching that crescendo, there was a desire for him to move back to his mum's house while he got himself back on his feet, but for whatever reason he was reluctant to do that, and so he ultimately never made that journey back home to Essex from Brighton. And the seed of an idea was born in my mind to run home on his behalf. We thought it would be a good idea to try and add to Tom's legacy by making the journey something that benefited other people, and so the idea of raising money for a mental health charity was born. I met a guy named Lewis out in Seville, and he has an affiliation and a good knowledge of the Big Moose charity, and as soon as he pointed me in their direction, it just made sense.
Then all of a sudden, after 19 weeks of hard work and training, we were on our way to Brighton to take the challenge on.
I soon found myself on the start line, and after a few well wishes, an important question was asked of me.
Oh, it's cringe. Tom would hate it. So it's a song that I hate, but it's got the perfect BPM and cadence to get me into my natural rhythm that I won't go too quick and burn too much energy. So it's Coldplay, Yellow. Awful.
Is it a garage version?
But and then it's all good stuff. So yeah, it could have been worse. But Tom would go. You got this. See you tomorrow. Okay.
I'll see you tomorrow evening.
Wow,
Love you.
Amazing.
Love you lots. Oh. That's your headphone. Here you go. That's on Mum's eye. And just like that, I was off on the biggest adventure I've ever undertaken.
You joined me on this short hiatus from Run for Tom, as it has become Hike for Tom. About 4.5k out of the start line, and Brighton is a sea-bound blip on the horizon already, but my gosh, have I got some climbing to do here. This 141 kilometre route is remarkably flat. I think there's something like 1100 metres of elevation across the entire run, which is bonkers for a run that long, right? But I think 950 of those 1100 metres come in the first 20k. So fortunately I've got fresh legs, but I've got to be very careful not to go out too hard and absolutely batter myself before it's even begun. So wish me luck. Well, that was worth the climb.
Yeah.
Beautiful up there. I can see Brighton Stadium just there, and when I got to the top and looked back, there's the most amazing views of Brighton city centre and the I360, and
what's that you've got there?
that is one of the worst hot cross buns I've ever eaten. So now we're out of Brighton proper, and Sian's joined me. Look at this. Woo! Woo! Who'd have thought that an hour ago when it was pissing down with rain. Right, let's go.
And that moment marked the start of what would end up being 85 kilometres of Sian's company during this run. The South Downs treated us to an absolutely beautiful sunset and even some local wildlife, which I was going to buy to keep for pets, but they were just too dear. Get it?
So night is falling and we're 3 kilometres from the first pit stop. Look, Sian's got friends everywhere. And I thought she was a Billy No Mates, but this is proof to the contrary. Be honest, guys, how much has Sian paid you? to come along. And which acting agency are you with?
We can't disclose that.
And after that little surprise visit from Sian's friend, it wasn't long before we were rolling into...
Checkpoint number 1!
But little did I know, another surprise lay in wait.
How was it, Si?
Good. Definitely feel like I haven't done a long run for 3.5 weeks, or whatever it's been, since that hard taper. But saw... It's Holly! Look who you see! Hey! Are you?
Yes! If that's okay.
This is Holly from the front runner team, who said she was going to stick her head out somewhere along the route and say hello, and she's going to join us.
And with that, Holly and I set off into the night for 18 kilometres of the creepiest lanes I've ever run along.
This probably looks a bit Blair Witch Project, but we are 4k from the second pit stop.
Yeah.
So Holly's covered, 8k with me so far?
Yeah.
No, 18 we're doing, 14k.
Yeah, we've done 14k, we've got 4 left, and it's been
quarter to midnight.
country lanes, pitch black the whole way, mist.
Just creaky noises
It's
in the
been really
bushes, and they're not
scary, I'm
coming
not
from
gonna
me. And honestly, if you're going to get into running, find a runner friend who will drive an hour and a half to run 18k with you in the middle of the night on national speed limit roads with no paths.
Yeah.
Holly's your girl. Let's crack on and finish
Yeah,
this, shall we?
let's finish.
And that is it. Stage 2 is done. Holly's just put in a heroic 2.5 hour shift. Can't thank you enough, mate.
Yeah, I know. No, we've done well, haven't we? Best of luck. Not far
All
to
the
go
best.
now.
Safe travels home.
Yeah, see you later. I will see you later. Bye.
Then as Holly made her way home, Sian and I headed out on the next stretch.
Okay, so we're now approaching the 50k mark, and Shana's broken out some entertainment. And what have we got?
We've got a voice note from Ben.
I've got some jokes for him. In fact, why don't fish sticks ever get invited to parties? Ask him.
I don't know.
Because they always show up battered.
If this is what I'm finding funny at 50k, I dread to think the depths that my comedy taste will plumb to around the 100k mark, but we'll find out, I guess.
A few terrible punchlines later and we were rolling into the end of stage 3. After a quick pit stop, we were back out and about, and we were soon greeted by some welcome sounds.
Listen. It's the first of the bird song. 60k in?
60k, yeah.
60k in. Daylight is coming soon, and I feel like it's going to be mildly euphoric. I hope it is. So, should we press on?
So press on we did. Dawn soon arrived and another surprise landed in our path.
John and I have just enjoyed a beautiful sunrise over the park and seen the first glimpse of the tall skyscrapers in London. We're in South Croydon. Look who's just joined us. And this is, unlike Holly earlier, this was not a known surprise by Sian. This is absolutely out of the blue. And my knees are really giving me shit right now. This couldn't have come at a much better time. I'd said to Sian a little while ago, I'm in a bit of a lull. And look, I'm emotional. Mate! Oh, the things people do for you when you put yourself out there, man. It's like humbling. Yeah. Thank you, mate. Whew. Well, let's crack on, shall we? I've got a rice cake to eat.
I'd have probably done anything to swap that rice cake for a sausage and egg McMuffin at that point, but the McDonald's we rolled into was closed.
How's the fueling going, Si?
Mate, I was being very smug about that just a minute ago. I haven't felt hungry, and the homemade carb drink is working. The homemade Rice Krispie bars are working. The roast potatoes are okay, not my finest work, but generally, yeah, I'm getting 75 to 90 grams of carbs an hour, but 30 grams of that through drink, and that's been a game changer because I'm not stuffing my tummy every 20 minutes. I'm able to eat only every 30 minutes. And touch wood, it's got me here, so I'm sticking with it. So after a pit stop that included 0 sausage and egg McMuffins, Lauren and I set off on the next stage of my journey until she had to go to work.
Hey mate, sorry I couldn't run with you for longer.
Appreciate you. No, honestly. Emotion.
You gonna be alright?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I get on. See you, Lauren. And off she goes. Legend. Then there was one.
Suddenly on my own, negativity crept in and I hit my lowest point of the run so far. Something that I talked to Emmy about afterwards.
The lowest moment in the run came probably this short stint I did on my own in the middle. So we were somewhere between 70 and 80 kilometres in, I think. And the negativity started to spiral and there was no one to distract me from it or give me a pep talk if I needed it. And at that point, I took out the quartz stone that I was carrying in my pack that belonged to Tom, and that was the physical representation of carrying him home.
I've got a good few kilometres ahead of me alone, and psychologically it feels hard to rev myself up for it, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about this. Tom is a big believer in energy and the balance of energy, and it's something that I've been a little cynical about. And in general, Tom always had a much more open mind than I do, and he's taught me in life and in his passing to be a little bit more open-minded to things. And his brother James gave me a piece of quartz stone belonged to Tom. Now if you subscribe to that sort of thing, these bring positivity and healing energy, and you can recharge them in the sunlight and in moonlight. So I've got a sunny stretch here. I thought I'd take this out, hold what is essentially a piece of Tom as far as I'm concerned in my hand, and just have a little chat with him and let this little stone gather some sunlight. And if holding this in my hand helps me feel his presence and think about him positively, then that'll do an awful lot to help me conquer my own self-doubt. Oh fuck, I love and miss him so much.
A few minutes later.
So this run just keeps giving and giving, right? I was just in my own head a lot after that last little update, and I look up and man, Bilal's here.
Morning, morning.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's a bit of
Thank you so much for coming out.
a journey from North West London.
Wow.
E-bike incidents where we made it.
Oh wow. So is this now your run commute?
Well, yeah. If I was into the city, should be nice.
Oh mate, that's awesome.
Amazing to see you.
You
Have
too.
we got this?
You too, bro. We've got this. Honestly, I can't tell. The swell of emotion is not coming out because I don't think I've got a drop of tear in me, but this is like, I think I said the same about Lauren. It came at a good time, but you guys keep catching me on lows and picking me up, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
That is what it's about.
That's exactly what it's about, and I don't know how I'll ever repay all these kind people, but I will somehow. All right, I'll see you guys at the next pit stop.
How are you feeling right now, Si?
Honest answer? I'm struggling to find the energy and motivation to get out of this van. I've warmed up a bit now with this on my legs. I've had my feet up for 10-15 minutes, and the thought of doing, I just did 18k and it was a slog, and I've got to do that again. And then if I think beyond that, which I'm trying not to, but it's happening, I've got to do another 15 or something, and then another 9, and then another 10. And the time it's taking me, because I'm walking the walking parts are getting longer and the running is getting more painful, is making the enormity of it feel quite come into sharp focus. And yeah, it's the hardest thing I've ever done physically, and it's hard mentally too. Despite my waning spirits, Sian and I pressed on into the next stage, and we were soon crossing the River Thames at the Woolwich Foot Tunnel, although my enthusiasm for stairs was at an all-time low.
Hi, sunshine.
Back above ground, I stopped to stretch out some cramp that was setting in before getting underway again.
So Sian and I are closing in on Raynham, which will be the end of the 6th stage of 9. And I've added another card to my little imaginary deck of positivity cards. And this particular one is that I'm now in the territory of, I'm not worrying about whether I'll get it done, because I will. I'm just daunted by the fact that it's going to take a long while at our current run walk rate. And if you'd told me in the first third of this run that I'd get to a point where being concerned about finishing is fading, I'd have taken that. But now I'm in that moment, it feels more like it's easy to be daunted by the time left on feet. So let's focus on the fact that we are going to get this done and celebrate that. What do you reckon, Sian?
Amen, brother.
Amen, brother.
The biggest motivator for me, I guess initially, was grief, because this whole thing was born out of my grief, losing Tom, and I wanted to do something that I felt represented him and represented more how much he inspired me. And then once we got into fundraising, it was helping the people that money would help. And there's a promise that I feel like I broke to Tom, and it's something that I can't put right. It's something that I've had to process. It's something that I've had to let go of any guilt for, which has taken a long, long time. But this has really helped, because this was a promise I made to myself to do this thing, and a promise I made to Tom, and I was determined to keep that promise. So however hard it got, I knew I'd find a way to get the job done.
And that determination was boosted further when another surprise visitor joined us.
We picked up another member of the Greatest Hits squad. We've got Yao with us now.
We shared as deep and a meaningful chat as you can in a Tesco's car park before setting off on the final 35 kilometres of this monster voyage.
So we've just set off on stage 7 from Tesco's, where Emmy got to know the staff very well, using the facilities thoroughly. Yao's still with us, hanging out for another 10k or so. The sun is shining, my knee is throbbing, and we're getting it done, albeit slowly at the minute. Let's pick up to a little jog, shall we?
1 foot in front of the other.
Yeah, exactly. 1 foot in front of the other. I was reminded of something my mother-in-law says that I've always laughed at. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time, apparently, but I don't want to eat an elephant, I just want to run an ultra marathon. So that's what I'm going to do.
As well as Yao's company, it was lovely to have Emmy jump out of the van and join me for a stretch.
Over the M25?
Don't say I don't take you anywhere nice.
We were soon at the next pit stop, where I made good use of the local pub.
Just went in for a piss and I came out with a glass of water, a piss and 30 quid in donations from 2 fellas. No way. So yeah, at this point Yao dips out. Thank you so much for your service, brother.
All good. All
Steve drops in. Here we go. 25k to go total, 15 on the next leg, 10 to bring it home.
But the body was hurting now, and this stage was about to bite me pretty hard.
So I'm currently about 5k shy of the final pit stop. And I've said to Sian and Steve that I'm gonna get my head down for a bit and crack on. I think I'm struggling. The body isn't any worse. It's not in any more pain than it was. But I'm really struggling with the mental side of being on my feet for probably another 40 minutes before I get to the last checkpoint. And I just want that last stop at the van so bad, because once I stand up from that, I know that the next time I stop, I get to stop for good. Also, I just want a bit of time to myself to think about Tom. Remind myself why we're doing it and what a wonderful man he was and what an inspiration he was. So I'm going to leave myself to my thoughts now. Check in at the last pit stop.
But before the final pit stop, there was time for a scenic wee, and the views from the A13 were surprisingly good. Then we rolled into the final pit stop before I got going again as promptly as possible, this time flanked by Tom's sister Natalie and his brother James, who had agreed to carry me home for the final stretch.
So I have a moment for this incredible crew of people. We have got less than 5k to go on this journey for Tom. There's one big hill. It's a big fucking hill.
There's some other of all hills, it happens to be at the end, right?
These guys have come out, and what a perfect trio to run the last leg with. There's been so many people who have supported us on this journey. And Tom's been here the whole way. Like my niece said, oh God, it made me cry. She said, there's 2 men running today. Actually, there's been a lot more than 2. There's been countless men and women on this journey, and I'd like to think we've done Tom really proud, haven't we?
And we're just ever so grateful for everyone that's dug deep and donated as well, because words, we can't put into words how much you mean, so thank you.
Yeah, I can't say it better than Tom's brother and sister. So I'll sign out for now. Let's get this last bit done. Come on, guys.
The highest single moment of the run was crossing the finish line. Coming around the corner with Tom's brother and his sister and Tom's niece and nephew and their friends, and then seeing all my family and Tom's family all waiting there, so happy to see this thing happening in Tom's memory was a really beautiful thing. And at the end, I took the quartz stone from my pack and I gave it to Rose, and just Rose is being Tom's mum, and said that that was the physical representation of Tom coming home, and I wanted her to keep it, and seeing what it meant to her was really, really beautiful.
What was Tom like?
Tom was the silliest of men. He always had the time for a smile for other people. Even when he was at his lowest, he would always interact with people so happily and so positively that whether you'd known him your whole life or were a complete stranger, you'd always come away from an interaction with him smiling. And he found joy and beauty in small moments that passed most of us by. He just had nothing but kindness in him. He was just a great man. And we could all do with being a bit more like him.